Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time to get back on here and handle the biz, putting in that work the way I'm supposed to, staying motivated, focus on my goals, and getting to you. I got a lot of things to do besides making videos too, and that's why I'm putting in so much work right now. And thank you for coming in and being a part of this. Thank you for coming in and watching, spending time with me. I love to do this and spend time with you as well and touch on many different topics in my vlogs, on my music and vlog channel, King A.D.S Music. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe, like the video, share the video, help me reach more people. It really is all about building a community. And, initially it was I had like this overload of information is what it felt like, and then I almost felt guilty if I didn't say something. I wanted to be on that right side of the fence of history and be known as, as like I tried to share something positive and the truth as much as I could grip it and grasp it, right? I mean, like I'm just doing my best to communicate in that fashion. And but I'm a mortal man, you know what I mean? So I'm not without flaw, I know this, but I definitely just like to try to put a better foot forward and share a different side of a message, things like that. So right now, what I wanted to touch on is a bad combination is being undereducated, desperation, and greed mixed together. And so starting fundamentally with being undereducated, which is never good because you could be easily swayed by someone's emotional output, the inflections in their voice, the type of emotion that they're putting into things, the energy that they're putting into things versus what they're actually saying, and not being tested against what they're saying. Like, so to actually see if they grasp the topic that they are being so passionate about, which can, if you follow that kind of energy, it could lead you into a bad place, or would put you in an awkward situation back up against the wall. And that would lead to the desperation to where a person could drop so low that they'd be willing to do anything to either, correct that scenario. And I mean like desperation times, like sell themselves, whatever it takes, like no shame, I mean, getting a job and doing things that you need to do, that's healthy. But sometimes there's people who will put themselves in harm's way in order to get a positive outcome. And and that often is, which is not a plan, it's a reaction, and that's based off of emotion and coming from a lower place, which usually sets you up for an unwelcome type of challenge, you know what I mean? And also, if a person can be influenced by outside imagery and pressures and social circles, or just by, watching a lot of entertainment and things, and then, or on social media, right? And you're seeing people's highlight reels and stuff, and you start to compare yourself to that standard of what is most of the time fabricated, then you'll start to think that perhaps you need to do these elaborate things in order to have a good life, or to be respected, or to be loved, or to be get attention, or things like that. And that's not necessarily the best place to be. You want to have some sort of moral center, some sort of focus, some sort of balance that jives with you in your place in existence. So you don't want to just be doing things out of desperation for the outcome. So it kind of goes back to like the good, bad, the iffy video a while back. Like, you start good, you end good. You start bad, you end bad. You start iffy, you end iffy. Don't do bad things expecting good outcomes, even if you have a good outcome that could be possibly foiled by the reputation catching up beforehand. Or don't do a bunch of good and think you racked up a bunch of good points and then decide that you can dig into the cookie jar without anybody's consent, right? Like, and just do something bad, because then everything that you've already built in that light can be destroyed, right? And then if you go into anything half-assed, you're going to get a half-assed result, So it is important for a person to have some sort of a center that they're not going to deviate from, So if you set a plan, stick to the plan. You know what I mean? But from an educated perspective, don't just do things out of desperation. Say, oh, I need to make a lot of money right now. Let me get myself into a situation I don't understand, where I can be hustled by people who are better at this than me, because I don't understand it yet. And find yourself in a place of desperation to where you will do anything. And also greed, right? Add that to the combination, where a person has some sort of entitlement, usually coming from a place, unfortunately, coming from a place of not having, from poor, a lot of the time poor. And but to have a mentality of being poor is to say that, without having a certain amount of money, or something that you could be braggadocious with, that you don't have any value at all. And so it's like comparing yourself to an unfair standard. It is actually the genuine energy that you put into something that will create something that can get invested into, or that will flourish and thrive, and let the abundance be a side product of that lifestyle and thinking and good habits, you know what I mean, that you start to practice, versus that you'll do anything to get what you start. Like on a negative side, it would be like what a person feels they're entitled for because they don't have it. And if they had that, their life would be so much different. They would get so much more respect, or so much more attention, so much more love, or devotion, or loyalty, or anything like that. So it definitely, and then the rude awakening is that it would do none of those things, maybe a little bit, but not so much. It comes down to the authenticity of every situation. And it's strange how that just keeps coming up about being authentic, and just seeing things through step by step, and caring, giving two shits about what you do, and taking your time with it, and not rushing through life so much. you know Make sure every step you make is a step that you meant to take in that direction, instead of just being pulled and swayed so much. And so it's very important, for everyone, anyone, including myself. I'm always learning. But to become more educated, be as smart as you can, learn as many things as you can. Even if you don't want to do them, it's good to know about those types of activities, or studies, because you might find something that connects with your point of view, and you're able to explore that, and whether it has any validity or not, right? Whether it's something that's legit or not, right? And move forward with definitive stamps of affirmations that you need in order to make better decisions from your own center, right? So that you know what you will accept, what you won't accept, what you'll consider, what's out of the question, so on and so forth. So you kind of like learn how to set your own mental boundaries according to what you're trying to accomplish. And none of these things are saying have a bad attitude, or malintent, or be rude to others, because those things are things that shun people. You'll repel people, and then that negative energy pushes, while the positive energy pulls people in. And that's what I'm doing with you. I'm pulling you in. Let's get, what I'm saying, let's get acquainted, let's connect, you know what I mean? And so let's be like the sun and grab it, make some gravity and pull everything in, man. Let's make our own little solar system right here, our own little system, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, it's better to have that positive energy, because it pulls people in. A lot of the times, I've heard amazing things from clients that I've even helped with my junk removal service, and they will say, hey, I call you because you treat me the best, you speak to me with respect, you have a good attitude, you show up, you communicate, and follow through. And all of those things that I just said is what you can hold up to the test of time, that these are things repeated that lead you to having a more successful venture or journey, versus having a very titled attitude, which also shows a misunderstanding of other people's success, which is like you're demanding that they give you more, or treat you even, a certain way, because of the fact that maybe you didn't have some advantages, or haven't, had your major breakthrough yet. But it's as if you're saying it's not fair that they have it, You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like you can't have malintent towards people. You should be happy that some people are doing great. If they're an asshole, okay, yeah, we get it. But a lot of the times, a lot of successful people that I met are not mean people. They're not mean spirited, and they actually like doing business with smaller businesses and helping the little guy out versus big corporations, because they know that those corporations are bleeding their pockets dry as well. Name nameless, remain nameless in this video, but you know what I mean. Like, the news is the news. We can get little, pieces here and there. We could see the financial things going on, but so yeah, you have like these misconceptions. I think that you bring these emotions. A person can bring these emotions and these negative emotions in from a place of feeling like they've been whooped on or beat on, but in perspective for you, the individual, if you just put that focus and energy into the more positive aspects of what you can see in your mind's eye and accomplish and achieve and pick up whatever's around you. If you don't have much, just consider what's around you. What attributes do you have that are good and positive, and then start to build on those. And in that way, you start to learn about what you're doing. Your interest can grow over time, and then it's an authentic thing. It's a lifestyle, and then that can become more infectious. It could spread, and now you have you know something that you can be into and do productively. You know what I mean? And can start to give back. I'm a little bit, like I said, I've been a little bit tired today. And then you have something that can grow, and you can become more successful, and it can generate. I had to come back on here and do another clip because I kind of lost my place for a second, but I got it back. And let the abundance be a side effect, of your authenticity in that craft that you're building, or that business venture that you're growing, that journey that you're on, and then you follow through. All these things will just be in a natural flow, instead of trying to do it for the sake of thinking that having something will give you those qualities, when you have to kind of hone them on your own. And those qualities are what get you those things, in other words. So it's kind of like a flip-flop, and then people seeing the outside image, not understanding the amount of work, care, and devotion has gone into this venture, will probably, if it's on a negative side, they're probably thinking that they're a little jealous, and thinking from an unfair place, a have not place, versus what do you have to work with. And that's always important for anybody, to always realize the good things that you have and the things you have to work with, the good things within yourself, the good things in your surroundings, the whole area that you live in. So that way you focus on those things and get active, instead of focusing on what you don't have and creating this huge barrier between you and what you can accomplish, your success, your potential success. And so yeah, a bad place to be. And I think a bad place to be is greed, undereducated, and desperation. There you go. That's what I meant to say. And man, I just love getting on here. I'm pushing a little bit extra in these days to get a lot done. Just so much going on, man, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. And I'm happy to be a part of this, doing this. And if you're with me, then I'm happy to be a part of the time that you take in your day to allow me to communicate with you and attempt to give you something good in a message. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate all of you. Much love. And I think I'm just going to end this one. All right. Peace.